process and journey with them. So I couldn't be happier with how it was.
Yeah, it's for us, we were ended up over doubling what we raised for local nonprofits. So this year we ended up raising 11,000 for our affiliate, and we ended up the last night we sold raffle tickets for $10 and gave away a 1 year unlimited membership. So that alone brought in about 2,000, and then we had another 1,000 in donations for the VIP coaches, which was awesome. So our members were really ecstatic about it. It got us a lot of local publicity as well. So that type of engagement and marketing is stuff you really just can't buy. Troy, you bring up a really A, scary situation, but B, one that I think all of us should address is injuries do happen, and scary situations like that can happen. One of the things that we try to take a lot of time with and really create a plan is we always have an emergency plan. So our coaches, our team are well versed in if an emergency happens, what happens. The other side for you guys is, like this May, our whole team's getting CPA certified and getting AED certified. I know this isn't the topic today, but I feel from an affiliate standpoint, it's our responsibility to ensure that our coaches have their CPR and are AED certified. The other side is I really believe that all affiliates should have an AED in their affiliate. So things like that are going to happen. It's inevitable that emergencies will arise. It's how we respond to them that showcase whether or not we're professional. So example would be is at the Granite Games at all times we had a doctor, emergency staff, and we had an ambulance ready at all times on site. Because it's not if it happens, it's just when. Same thing with these affiliate events. You don't necessarily need to have an ambulance on site for that, but you should have proper medical people at least by standby and have your team well versed. So if emergency, what happens? Who's calling? Who's running to the phone to call 911? Who's going to attend to the person? So I think that if you guys haven't had that happen in a staff meeting, definitely sit down and go over that. So I'm sorry that you guys had to go through that. So, all right, are we ready to kick off member engagement? Awesome. Today's ultimate goal is when you guys walk away from the workshop or the webinar today is understand the different levels of engagement and then how we create a waving pattern that grows and boosts our revenue, but doesn't overstimulate our clients. It doesn't have them feel like they're being constantly sold to. So let's kick it off. Before we hop into the presentation, I'm going to share this video with you guys. It's on how to start a movement. And for those of you guys that have seen it, you guys can zone out for a couple minutes or watch it again. It's a video I constantly keep reminding our team about. How do we create traction? How do we create movement? So I'm going to play this video for you guys. It's about 5 minutes long. We'll probably go through a good majority of it. So hopefully if you guys haven't seen it, you enjoy it. But there's a lot of great little nuggets to take away from here.
So ladies and gentlemen, at TED, we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not two nuts, 3 is a crowd, and the crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but the followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out. They won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So over the next minute, you'll see all of the those that prefer to stick with the crowd, because eventually they would be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. But let's recap some lessons from this. So first, if you are the type, like the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly about the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first follower that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
So the reason why I showed that video is twofold. It really does a great explanation that us as affiliate owners, we are the leaders, and we're kind of the lone nut. It's really, really important that we find that second or that first follower, because those are the people that our membership identifies with. They don't actually identify with us. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later when we talk about Friday Night Lights. But that video is a great one. If you want to go back on TED, go back and watch the whole thing. It's a really great video about how to start a movement, how to start traction. So today's goals is we are going to showcase why the need for engagement and how to create it, the levels of engagement, the year as a whole, and then how to get the movement started. And then as a bonus, Chris Thorndike from CrossFit Gainesville is going to give up his snatch skill clinic. So one of the things we'll be talking about is skill clinics, how to put them on. He's going to give up exactly what they did to run their snatch skill clinic. So thank you for that, Chris. All right. First and foremost, Bill Gates said content is king, and I couldn't agree more. For us to grow our business, to grow interest in us, we have to have content. These engagement exercises are a pot of gold for content. Friday Night Lights was tons and tons of content. That's why we recommended you guys have a photographer on site while you're doing blogs. All of that stuff should be shared on your Facebook page and throughout your community. And that's great content we can't just buy. So events throughout the year can boost revenue and also create a strong connection with your members. Other things it does is it creates brand awareness in the local market and creates high value content. So let's look at the levels of engagement. This is something I've been working on at Factory Forge and along with our team. There's different levels of engagement. I want to talk about that today, and then making sure that we are piecing these together properly. So one of the first level of engagement would be high price, high engagement. What this looks like is it's going to be the highest buy-in from our membership, but it's also going to take the most amount of effort from the affiliate, and probably going to take a reasonable sum of money from the affiliate owner to produce. A great example would be Friday Night Lights, Strength Club, or Olympic Lifting Club. And when I say Olympic Lifting Club, what I'm looking at is maybe a 12-week special programming cycle where they pay, maybe it's $249 on top of their membership and to enroll in this special program. So they're paying extra money. It raises our revenue stream, but it also costs us a little bit to produce it. Does everybody understand what HPHE stands for and what it looks like? So what are some other possible examples of high price, high engagement? Do you guys have any out there that you guys are doing that would fall into this category? The other thing I'll add to it is high engagement looks like something that's normally over 3 to 4 hours. It could be 8 hours, or it could run maybe several weeks for an event. So what are some other things that might fall into this? Running club. Troy, the weight loss challenge it's going to be dependent on the price point. So I'll get into that next. But that is your HPHE. Next, we have low price, high engagement. So example for that would be like our black and white party. So once a year, we do a really fancy party where the ladies go out and they go shopping, they get dresses, and the guys go out and get shirts, ties, and everybody gets real dressed up. Chris actually came to ours last year. It costs us money to put it on, but the buy-in for the client is $20 to attend it. I think actually last year we charged $10, but the party for us was about $3,000 to put on. So black and white party, 6-week nutrition challenge, Olympic lifting 1-day workshop. So again, this is the level of engagement requires a small cost to the client, but it's a large amount of effort for the business to produce. Anything else that you guys think may fall into this category? Memorial Day Murph, possibly. Depending on how high, and Tim, that's a great one. Murph could definitely fall into it depending on how big you blow up Murph. So that's the other side of this is it's up to you guys. You guys can create high engagement or you create low engagement. The affiliate determines what level of engagement it is by how much they go all in. 4-hour seminar, yes, that's kind of on the line. So other thing that could be is you guys could do Tim, you and I were just talking about this, a competitor's combine. Might be an 8-hour all-day combine where you're testing your athletes in all these different domains of fitness. You might charge them $25 to attend it. So that is your LPHE. Next one is ZPHE, which is zero price, high engagement. This is free to our clients. Things like Feel the Love Week, Ugly Sweater Party, or the Friday Night Lights After Party, where for that we had a DJ still there. We picked up two kegs of beer, brought in food. It was at zero cost, but it was very high level of effort on our behalf. Same thing with the Ugly Sweater Party. What makes that high engagement is the length of it and the amount of promotion that it takes to produce it. So here is our Feel the Love Week, and this is actually from 2013. This poster is really, really old. These were actually movie-sized posters that we hung up around all of our gyms, and you can see that Monday was back to the 80s, Tuesday was Pajama Day, Wednesday was Wacky Wednesday, Thursdays was Socks and Headbands, Friday was Proud to be an American or hero shirts, Saturday was Fast Factory Pride. We did a barbecue and beer, and we did our grand opening of a new affiliate. So we shot photos of all of our coaches in the outfits, printed the posters, and that was our Feel the Love Week. Some other things that we might do during that time is like early morning class, we'll bring coffee for them, coffee and donuts, and just fun little unique things. Again, it's zero cost to our clients, but a lot of engagement activity with them. Any questions to this point so far? If you say no, we'll move forward. If you guys got questions, I want to make sure that you guys are getting your questions answered. All right, thanks guys. We're going to move forward. Next is low price, low engagement. And so for this, I did Murph as an example. It's dependent, again, on the affiliate, how you engage your clients. For us, Murph, we normally started at 9 and it's done by 11:30. It's maybe 2.5 hours. There's some engagement, but it's not nearly as big as Friday Night Lights. It's not what I would consider high levels of engagement. The other thing that it might be is double under clinic. Athletes pay $20 and they have a 90-minute clinic where they work on a specific skill. So does that make sense how we would categorize, that? The other thing we might do is different hero WODs. It doesn't have to be just Murph. And the other one I did not add in is we do hero WODs for members that have passed away of, like, say, cancer. And the whole day might be a hero WOD where we all wear Fast Factory blue, and then we'll just put a donation jar out. So it might be, say, low price, but that money is being donated to that nonprofit.
John, got a question in the forum I want you to hit up. Jeff's asking about engagement and how you kind of define what engagement would be on that. And it's interesting because for us, because we run Murph, that's probably and I love the idea that the affiliate kind of controls the flow on this, and that's up to everyone to decide what their kind of angle is. Because for us, Murph's probably our biggest event of the year. I mean, it might even be bigger than Friday Night Lights for us, but that's just, we started out before there was an open, and we wanted something to do, right? So it kind of had that thing. So if you get on percentage of participation, how you would kind of help these affiliates define that?
Yep. So engagement really looks at how much effort it takes for the affiliate to put on this event. If you think about a double under clinic, or for us, Murph, is we all get together and do a workout, and then we barbecue after. People bring their own food. Whereas Friday Night Lights, we have a DJ, we have an MC, we're setting up at noon, we have a full 2.5 hour build out, we have the full 5 hours to put on, and then we have the breakdown. From there, we got blogs happening on Monday, photos going live on Tuesday. It becomes this huge production for Friday Night Lights. That is very high level engagement for us. Our Murph is much smaller in the sense that it's a 2 hour, we come in, we do the workout, somebody will sing the national anthem, we'll take photos, and then we'll kind of have a beer or two afterwards. It's not a big production. Engagement really looks at how engaging we are with our clients, how time intensive it is, and it also looks at the marketing lead up, and then what it takes to produce it, and then the follow up. So the front side, the middle, and then the end. Jeff, does that make sense for the engagement piece? And I think if you want to classify it as engagement equals the affiliate effort to produce it is right. It's also the other side is if the clients even want to be engaged in it. So you could put a huge engagement piece together, but if it's not the right piece, it may not fit in your model. So and then the last one is, I love this picture, but it's zero price and then low engagement. So you could just simply do a holiday WOD, say maybe 4th of July. And that's kind of where our Murph falls into, except for our Murph, they pay $20 and then we donate that money. Holiday WOD might be 4th of July where we do a hero workout and we just all wear hero t-shirts. Otherwise, like maybe a paleo cook-off or a potluck. So here's a picture of Paleo Nick at our gym and some of our members cooking paleo meals for the next month. It was at zero. It was basically zero for us to produce the event. I spoke with Nick. He wanted to come in and do it, and our members got to attend it. So that's where the low barrier of engagement was for us. So is there any questions on the different levels of engagement? And then second of all, have you guys ever looked at how you're creating events throughout the year? Are you constantly producing high level of engagement, low level of engagement? Is it always high price, low price, or zero price? Have you guys ever thought about your event schedule like that? So what I'm going to get into next is once you have the understanding of the different levels of engagement and the different price points, how to wave it appropriately so we're not overstimulating our clients or having them always feel like they're being sold to. So there's a couple big key pieces here. So for a business to create a strong level of engagement throughout the year without creating client burnout, you will need to waive your levels of engagement. Don't follow high engagement with high engagement. This will overstimulate your clients and it strains your team. Create your engagement schedule far out in advance. All events should launch in 6 weeks. And those are kind of just the quick principles of it. So I just did a quick snapshot of January through July as an example. And this is actually what we do. So I wanted to kind of show you guys how we wave our stuff. This is not 100% all the things that we have in our schedule, but it'll kind of give you an idea of how things flow together. So in January, we have a brand new year kicking off. There's a whole bunch of people looking to get healthy and fit. So what do we kick the year off with? Bring a buddy day. So that's zero price, and it's low engagement. It's 1 day. They bring their friends to a class. It's not a huge stress on our affiliate, and we get new members from it. We'll follow that up. We know the Open's around the corner, and in February, we're already starting to market Friday Night Lights. So instead of producing something of high engagement in February, we come back with low price point, low engagement. We'll do a double unders clinic. And the reason why is, hey, double under is going to come up in the Open. Why not get your first double under today so you can practice them before the Open happens? March, we already should all know what this is. It's the Open. It's Friday Night Lights. It's high price point, high levels of engagement. It's a big stress on both the members and our affiliate. It's a lot of work to produce it, but it is probably one of our best marketing opportunities of the year. For us, we have our anniversary party in April. So this is what I refer to as that black and white party. For us, you can make it either low engagement. Some years we make it low. Some years we make it high. If it's a high level engagement anniversary party, we'll bump it to the end of April, early May, and then we'll probably fit something in April that's a lower level of engagement. May, we always kick off because we live in the cold weather. An endurance workshop is 12 weeks of programming cycle. So this might come at a very high price point of $180, $200. High level engagement, high price point. We follow it back up, like I said, with Murph, low price point, low level of engagement. In June, it's bathing suit season around the corner in Minnesota at least. So we're going to kick off an 8-week nutrition challenge. Again, it's low price point, but it's high engagement because of the length of the nutrition challenge and the amount of work of, the kickoff day, body fat testing photos, test out the blogs throughout it. We really want to blow that up because we want to see them get good results. And then in July, zero price, low engagement, 4th of July workout. So at no price to them, we all get together, only have one class that day. We'll maybe have 3 or 4 coaches on, and we'll do a big hero water, something fun where the members can just kind of enjoy the community. I'm going to open it up for questions right now. This is kind of the waving pattern that we use. There's no real rhyme or reason, but what we're really looking at is not butting up 2 levels of high engagement because it becomes way too much marketing and your members just, it becomes absolute noise and the content really never gets to them. They can't be absorbed. They're constantly getting things thrown at them. So Chris and Tim, if you guys want to talk at all too, right now this is, if you guys want to talk about your guys' affiliates or anything you guys want to add to this, feel free to hop in.
Yeah,
you guys?
I'm good. Yeah. I'm good so far, man.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So,
do we have
Chris, you good?
Chris is in the zone. Do you guys have any questions out there before we move on to creating the movement? All right. Before we kick off, I will say that when you guys look at your supplemental revenue has the ability to create about 25% above and beyond what your auto pay is. So your auto pay would be your contractual memberships. So I think, for us, if we were to do $1 million in a year, our events should bring in around 250,000. When you add up all the different pieces that we have going on, one of our strength clubs or endurance clubs, that can bring in $5,000. So when you start to pair those things together, there's a lot of revenue that can be generated. The other key piece is not putting the two high price points together, people only have so much disposable income, and the chances are they actually may wanted to do both things, but if you pair them up back to back, they may not be able to afford them. The other side is you always should launch your high price point events at the first of the month, because right before that is payday. So people have disposable income at that time of the month. Low price points or even zero price points, they can be launched later in the month, but your high price points, those should be launched around the first of the month. Just a little tidbit there when you guys are trying to make sure that everything gets sold out. Traction. How do you get a movement started? Your team. Each member has to have an important role, and enroll them in on the engagement activities. So no matter if you're a bench coach on our team or if you're a full-time staff member or a manager, we try to enroll everybody in a position, and we allow them to do their position, meaning we're not overreaching and doing their job, but making sure that they understand why what they're doing is important to producing the event or the engagement activity, and how they can be successful and what we're looking for them. So what I mean by that, just to clarify, is we define what their role is, and then we define what level of success is. So we're showing them what we're looking for and how we're going to define whether or not they did a good job. So setting that standard is important. Getting your team to work together is important. Your membership, enroll key community leaders, and that's why I played that video earlier. If you think that you're going to be the one that creates traction, you're wrong. You're the one that gets to sit down with the key community leaders, and you enroll them on the event, and they're the ones that are going to go out into the community. Again, your membership they don't see eye to eye with you because you're kind of the lone nut. So if you can enroll your members, so for us, I have like 8 members that my membership absolutely looks up to. They idolize. So when we launch big nutritional challenges, I might comp out their spot. So if it's a $45 nutrition challenge, I sit down with them and I'm like, hey, this one's on us. All I'm looking for is I need you to get active in the community, start talking about it. And from there, they're going to create the traction. The other side is create a constant drip of content. So you shouldn't be just, throwing it all at them at once. But if you're 6 weeks out, it might look like one email post for the first 3 weeks. And then from the 3 week or week 4, week 5, week 6, we're going to pick it up. Week 4, we might have 2 posts about it. Week 5, we're going to go to maybe 3 posts. And then week 6, there's going to be an email that gets sent out every day talking about the event. Last thing is educate them during class announcements. So all your coaches should have 5 minutes at the end of class during cool down where they talk about upcoming events, whether it's a jump rope seminar, an after party that you guys are doing, Friday Night Lights. Now your coaches are not you. They're not necessarily the lone nut. Your membership looks up to your coaches a lot as well. So you have your members that are leaders in your community, but you also have your coaches that are also the other leaders. Having both of them enrolled is going to ensure that you guys have tons of success. The other thing is, if it's a big event, high engagement, the thing you should do is create an event on Facebook and let people start showcasing how many people are going, and push a lot of the content there. Invite people to that page and then keep the content about the event there. Any questions before we move on? Tim, you look like you got something. I'll let you go ahead.
I got something, because there's so much in these 4 points. I'm interested to see kind of where everyone's at on these, because you might be really good at getting your community leaders in, but really crappy about getting them to talk about the event. Or you're doing a lot of education, but there's no ongoing education. So just to kind of help us know how to help you guys better, could you guys score this like 1 to 10 on each part? Like give yourself like so you might score like you might write it like this, like an 8, 7, 5, 9 to each. So just like 1 to 10, obviously 1 being the worst. That's how it always works, right? 1's always the worst. Because we'll be able to kind of hit on a point if someone's missing, because I feel like some people might be really good at some and they're, falling up. I feel like we're going to see a big first number, right, enrolling key leaders, and a low, and it's going to start getting lower and lower. But I'm interested to see from you guys.
Somebody asked, how do you choose your community leaders? You don't. your community leaders are chosen by the community, and it's our job just to simply recognize. So when you have a private Facebook forum and certain people will post, those members will get tons of traction. So for us, I have a couple females and a couple males. When they write something in our community page, it instantly grabs the attention of the entire membership. You see a lot of commenting, you see a lot of liking. They are the natural leaders from the membership side. If you try to just simply go out and pick who your community leaders are, it will not work. You have to work with the people that the community respects. They're kind of like the captains on your team.
So I see most people are, I mean, Jeff was a little low. I kind of threw it up to him to see why he's so low there. Most people are high on the first one, or higher relative to their other scores. And then a lot of people in class announcements, I think the lowest for most people, right? And then education and drip content, which goes back to the blogging stuff we've been talking about, and maybe even like, you know it so well, but the sharing the stuff in the Facebook event page and how that kind of works. So maybe if you want to talk about those two things, John, because I see a lot of room for growth here on people. Yep. If you want. Yeah,
so first and foremost, we've talked about it last week. We talked about blogging, how to do it correctly. The other side is the content is going to happen on threefold. It's going to happen in the content will happen in the classroom, but it'll also happen in the blog, and then it'll also, and finally the email content. A lot of times the email and the blog content may be the same. The other side is get on the floor and talk to your people about it. Like, educate them. Don't just hang up posters. I see that a lot is people will put out, little postcards, and they'll hang up posters, and they'll do 1 or 2 posts, and they think they're going to sell at an event. You really need to get out in your membership and ask them, just be honest, like, hey, are you signed up for an example, we're going to do the Whole Life Challenge here in June. Ask them, are you doing the Whole Life Challenge? And if they say no, just be like, what's up? How come you're not going to do it? And then just say, well, do you have any questions about it? Is there anything that you don't understand? I think it's going to be really beneficial for you to reach those next goals. Where are some of the sticking points? And so literally, if you can go around and start to put out the fires or understand why people are or aren't doing things. And then the other part is start to highlight why people are doing it, because your membership will align with other members. So if they see a peer doing something and they're like, oh, I get it. That's why I should do it as well. If somebody's like, hey, you know what? I've just struggled to lose my last 5 pounds of fat, so I'm going to do the Whole Life Challenge. And I may not do it perfect, but I think it's going to help me, break through that plateau. Other people will identify with that. So blogging is critical, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to write a book. Write 5 steps to being successful with the nutrition challenge, or Friday Night Lights. 5 things you need to think about when you're getting ready for a competition. It doesn't have to be selling, it should be educational. And then through that, they're going to join and enroll. Tim, Chris, you guys want to add anything to those 4 points as well?
No, I mean, you hit it up good with noticing your members. I mean, that's what the core of this stuff is, right? That you're actually doing it as a service to them, and not just like because you can. It can do a lot of shit, but you're doing it. Hey, like you said, you notice they want to lose 5 more pounds, so there's care embedded in that. There's service embedded in that, and then it's how you want to help them from there. So as long as we kind of keep that at the core, I think we're always pretty good. And they're more likely to do stuff because they go, oh shit, John knows this really is what I need. Like, yeah, I'm paying attention. So as long as that's there, I think you guys are solid.
The other side of this is, notice that the events we're creating, we're not selling to them. We're creating events that help solve problems. Even Friday Night Lights, it solves the problem of people not fully understanding what it means to be an athlete. For those people that were, stay-at-home moms that never got to be competitive, this is their moment to be an athlete. We're solving a problem that they may have, and sometimes we're solving problems that they don't even know they have. But if all of a sudden you start to become a salesperson, it doesn't work. You're not going to have engagement. People aren't going to be, lining up to enroll in this stuff. So I think the key with really being successful with a lot of this is you have to understand your membership. You have to have strong relationships with them, and those relationships are built on take time to get to know them. If somebody just signs up and then the next thing you do is you're trying to push an event down their throat, it's not going to go well. But if you take the time to get to know them, find out what their goals are, what their challenges are, and then you help them identify things that are going to help them, you're going to see success. Whether it's an Olympic lifting workshop, it's double unders, nutrition. There's so many different supplemental revenue things that we can create that further the relationship with our clients, create more engagement. And from there, all that engagement creates content. That content then is used to now enroll future clients or current prospects into our business. So it's a big circle, and everything is going to build the next step. And eventually it circles all back around to using it to create content, create value to prospects, which get them in the door for either boot camp, your intro program, CrossFit, whatever it may be. So everything's going to work in harmony with one another. So that's how you create a full circle of business. This is just one piece to it. Any other questions we have before we move on to the Snatch Skill Clinic? All right, let's move on here. And again, Chris, do you want to explain this, or do you want me to go through it? All right. So one of the things that we do at, I think, all three of our affiliates is there's a big difference between, say, a skill clinic and possibly a workshop. For us at Fast Factory, a workshop is something that is all day long. It might be 8 hours. It might be both the Olympic lifting workshop or an athlete combine. It's a very high intensity gymnastics workshop. Price points on those are normally right around the $100 mark, maybe $89, all the way up to $200, depending on what's coming with it. For us, a skill clinic now is 90 minutes to 120 minutes, and it might be $20, it might be $30, much more lower price point. Everybody can do this. So great thing to do is if you have a high price point, sometimes follow up with a low price point, because sometimes the people that couldn't afford the big purchase, you can have a lot of positivity with coming back with a low price point. It allows them to feel like they're getting something as well. But if you don't follow up with that, people kind of feel like they got left out or they missed something. So we don't want our clients feeling like they missed something. So here is Chris's Snatch Skill Clinic. He breaks it all the way down, and this will be available for download. But he's got his terminology, the fundamentals of what they're going to learn, the skill development of what they're going to be learning, and then coaching instructions. From there, the snatch practice drills, taking them all the way over, and then he's got complex drills for the athletes to go back and take a look on, like say YouTube, or when they want to go back and practice this. So for us, we'll do one day we might just do the clean, and the people we're going to target with this will be beginners. So hey guys, you've been doing CrossFit for 2 weeks, you've been doing it for 2 months. Every time the clean comes up, you feel a little bit nervous. So why not join our cleaning skill clinic? And what's going to happen is you're going to be less nervous in CrossFit. You're going to be more confident, and it's going to allow you to enjoy the WODs and get a better workout in. So what we're trying to do is pair up the feelings that they're having in class or where they're at with a solution. My competitor's combine that we just put on last fall, I only marketed that towards athletes that are thinking about doing competitions or already doing competition. I wasn't marketing it towards our beginners, and I don't market the skill clinics to my competitors because they don't need it. And I don't want them to sign up for something that is meant to be a beginner's program, and all of a sudden they get in there and it kind of changes the dynamic of it. So it's not overly complex if you guys put all the pieces together, but there's definitely a harmony to how we can wave all this stuff to boost our revenue and create a really, really awesome experience for our clients. So today is a little bit shorter of a webinar, but that kind of does it for member engagement in the waving cycle. Now, obviously, there is a whole bunch of moving pieces. This is really the zoomed out version. When you start to break down the like Murph, I'm sure for Tim, it's not like something that he just throws together last minute. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's probably an entire packet of SOPs to produce that event. Same thing with our Oli Clinic gymnastics. There's so much marketing that needs to be put into that. So this is the easy stuff. Just getting this stuff laid out is the easy part, but producing high quality events or workshops or clinics, nutritional challenges, that's where a lot of the work goes. So today we wanted to take a minute, zoom out, look at the year as a whole, and make sure we're engaging our members. One, we're engaging them, but B, we're not overstimulating them or over asking them to purchase too often. So that really does it for us. As always, we leave 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So if you guys want to ask a question, you can ask it on member engagement or anything that you have going on in your business, and we'll be happy to, one of us will be happy to answer and give you advice. Susan, your question is, how do you incorporate buying apparel into engagement? Really, that just kind of fits into our whole retail side. It is supplemental revenue, and the retail is more of an educational piece. So like if we're doing goals meetings, we'll educate people on fish oil or protein. Apparel-wise, it's meant to be at a reasonable price point where people basically can be proud to rock your brand. As funny as that is to say, but we're not a retail store, but we have it in the convenience of they want to wear our brand. So we're not overly promoting retail, I guess. Does that answer your question without going too deep into retail? And I left retail out of this. It is a supplemental revenue, but it doesn't fall into this system. It's kind of just there.
Yeah, Susan, I'll answer that from my perspective on it. Like, one, I mean, look at we didn't have a pre-meeting today of what shirt we're going to wear, but John's got a Fast Factory shirt on. I've got a High Voltage shirt on. Like, I just think our shit's cool. Chris has got a Gainesville shirt on. Like, we just, like if you don't think your stuff is cool and you don't actually enjoy wearing it, you don't leave the gym and take it off and put on something you like, they're probably not going to like it too. So with apparel, I'm super simple on it. Like, it's something I would actually go out and grab a drink at the bar with my buddy in, then it's cool, right? I wouldn't mind keeping it on while I WOD, let's see.
Yep, and this is actually, we did one of the things that we did over December was a Santa challenge. And it was a nutrition challenge, a lifestyle challenge. The ultimate goal was you did not gain any weight over the holidays. And so we created a bad Santa with barbells crossed and just kind of a cool little holiday challenge. I think it was like $40. It basically covered the price of the shirt. And the ultimate goal was just to simply not have our clients go backwards starting in January so they would see success in Friday Night Lights. I posted in the chat right there. Marcus, you asked about a workshop. There's a link for it. I think we have 3 spots only left. VIP is sold out. Our single day is sold out. We're going to be covering this stuff, but really this is just scraping the surface. We're going to be going so much deeper into these events and really how to position them. This is 1% of how to run that successful event side. So.
John, I got a question up there for you. They're wanting to know how far out we all kind of plan this stuff as far as using the high engagement thing and how specific it gets. I'd like to hear each of you guys' take on this, but generally I feel like it's kind of like programming. Like, you know, the yearly cycle, how things work. After the open, you're in hopefully specific, parts of training, and you're building up to different goals you have around the year. It gets more specific as it gets closer, like you have things planned out, pretty clear within a few months. But what about you guys specifically at your gyms? How do you all handle that for these guys?
Chris, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I can hop in. We try to break it down into quarters. So every 3 months we place a event. So we call those four major events. So that might look like Friday Night Lights, Whole Life Challenge. We run an obstacle course, and we have more of a CrossFit style event at the end of the year. Those become our fourth quarter, which we know down to the month where we're going to place those. And then we do a similar scattering of events or scaling of events throughout the year based on social, dollar cost, engagement that we talked about today. So in general, we have a template for 6 months clearly laid out, and then as far as a year with a rough guide. We didn't start there. That's something important to know, that you may find that if you walk away from today with an understanding that you lay out the rest of your year and softly place those key events that you find are important in your business or that you want to address, and then get really effective at the marketing, you'll see certain events stick, and those will be eventually your majors. So a year fully for us, and then 6 months in detail as we lay out the marketing plans at CFG.
For us, I would say we're pretty similar in the sense that we look at quarters, and then we normally have a high price point each quarter. So Friday Night Lights would be our high price point in quarter one. Quarter two would be our endurance workshop plus 12 weeks of endurance programming. I think that's around 200 for that. We do a gymnastics in the summer, in the end of summer, to kind of get people ready for the Granite Games. So we'll do a gymnastics workshop followed by 12 weeks of gymnastics programming. And then we also will do like a nutrition challenge in the fall as well. So what I try to do is each quarter we have one high price point, high engagement, followed by 2 low price points with a combination of low engagement or high engagement. And then every quarter we try to do at least one free thing as well. So the key is not doing too many high price points, because you'll start to, the thing that your membership will say is, I feel like you guys are always trying to sell to us, or it always costs more. It always costs more. So we want to always kind of pair those things up. So we take the quarter look. The other side is we build our stuff out. My affiliate's been open now for over 4 years. I actually don't necessarily need to plan our events anymore, because we just follow the same. Gymnastics happens at the time, our endurance happens at the same time. Friday Night Lights is already set in stone. So our cycle is already there. It's just we kind of keep running the plays, we get better at them, and then we make changes to events that aren't working. We might switch things out or rebase it. So that's kind of our 12-month cycle as well. All right, any more questions out there? I saw one earlier that said, yeah, we listen to our clients, but they still don't buy. So here's the piece on selling. A good salesperson will look and listen to what the person's problem is, and showcase what the event does. But you have to, if you really want to sell things out or to really engage your membership, you have to educate them on things they didn't even know. What I mean by that is you have to show them problems that they never even knew they existed. And I will not say I got that from a selling book that I read. Chris went through it as well. As it's the Challenger Sale. It's an amazing book that talks about how we need to educate our prospects and educate our clients on not just what their problems are, but really dig deeper into things that they don't even know. For an example, when you have somebody, there you go. When you have somebody come in for an intro, they might say these are their problems, and maybe it's a 40-year-old female, but that should be your time to educate them on, and if you want to go down the rabbit hole, like bone density, and how if they don't start lifting weights by the age of 55, they're going to be not moving like they could. So what it takes is a high level of knowledge about your products, your systems, and you have to be well versed. But the key with getting people to purchase is, A, you got to solve their problem, but you also have to take it to the next step. How is this going to do more than just solve their problem? How is it going to catapult them forward? We'll leave it open for 4 more minutes. A couple more questions. The book is The Challenger Sale, and I'll pull up the link real quick. Susan, here you go. So for us, Friday Night Lights, I believe, brought in last year, and again, this isn't a reason we do it. It so happens that it happens this way. Last year, we brought in, when it was all said and done, 8 new clients joined our gym. This year, we actually had, I think, 14 to 16 CrossFitters from different affiliates come watch ours, that stuck around and talked to one of our coaches afterwards and asked if they could get set up for an intro, that they were just blown away by the way we ran our event and just everything that was taking place. So again, we've never ran our Friday Night Lights to gain membership. We just want to do a really good job with it. And if you guys keep doing that with every event you produce, if it's always of extremely high quality, your company is going to stand for something above and beyond. So Friday Night Lights does naturally grow our gym, but it's not set up in a focused manner that we are trying to do so. Chris, what about you guys, or Tim?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a great thing. There's so many. It's like the catalyst for a bunch of other things we do throughout the year. It just works out that people come, but we're not sitting there hammering people to come when they come by, just showing them a great time, because there's so much we're getting from it. The collateral, like we've been shown how to do, we're going to take and mark it on Facebook later, and all the other things. The blogs I'm going to write about someone's success who last year couldn't finish the 95-pound thrusters. Now they finished it during this workout. So there's plenty in there to take away without having to be direct, just like sell. So that's my approach in it and how we do it, just like we're teaching.
Yeah, for us in Gainesville, it's interesting. Every year we notice that there's an uptick, and I'm sure you guys notice January, February, and then March, the trend is that it slows down a little bit, I think mostly because our area, spring break, we're in a college town, and we notice people traveling. But April, May, and June, our numbers uptick again. And I can't say that it has direct benefit from Friday Night Lights. What would be interesting if you offered a call to action, some sort of ticket or a specific card that they receive, and we'd probably be able to monitor that better. Our focus for Friday Night Lights, like Tim said, it's really about creating an awesome experience for the members. But if you do want to track it, I think there's ways to do that. We just find that April, May, and June naturally over the years is a great uptick in intros for us.
One of the things that happened at the Friday Night Lights after party for us was some of the athletes from a different affiliate came up to me, and they were blown away by how much money we had raised, how we had run our event, and just the overall, like, the way our gym was handled. Everything from how they were greeted to coming in the door. They just said they took away just all those little things in it. It made them really curious how our classes ran. They're like, the comment is if you guys put this much effort into the open and everything's just so dialed in, I can't imagine how or what the experience is like in a class. And all I said to them is, well, if you're ever interested, love to have you come try it out. And I didn't sell them on our gym. I didn't talk about why we are different. I just kept it really brief. And I was like, thank you for coming. Thank you for cheering on our members. I know they love it. If you're ever interested in trying a class, shoot us a call. And I just kept it real simple and try not to create that moment, even though it's, you want to do it, you want to see them join, but it just it wasn't the right time. Let's go one more question and then we'll wrap up for the day. And the last thing is, for those of you guys that are on the fence, a little bonus added is we're doing a 2-hour workshop for those of you guys that are signed up, or a 2-hour webinar for those that are doing the workshop. It's actually a pre-webinar for the workshop, so we're going to be working on things. So when you guys come out here, you're 100% prepared and your business is ready to be working on the things to take it to the next level. So that way you're not scrambling when you get here saying, oh, I don't have that already built in my business. So it'll be 2 hours. It's Friday. I believe it's the 10th of April. 10th, I have to look at the dates again. But it'll be 2 hours long. So just a little bonus to you guys that have signed up. You guys have already gotten an email about it. We look forward to having you guys. So for any of you that are on the fence, we would love to have you. I really believe it's going to be great for your business and you're going to walk away pleasantly surprised. Last chance for a question. Otherwise, we're going to call it a day. Thank you guys very much for attending today. I hope that the member engagement presentation was worth your time. And from now, it's just the template, the outline for you guys where the real magic happen is producing these events and taking them to the next level. The question I always ask our team, and I know these two do as well, is, okay, this is how we put the event on, but how do we leave our members wowed? Like, what are the little details that people just don't expect us to think about, and then how do we just wow them? One of the things that we did, and I'll pull it up real quick, that our members were blown away by, I believe I still have a photo of it, is we did a really cool photo shoot at the end of our Friday Night Lights this year. So what I mean by that is, when they got done working out, we had a professional photographer come in and we shot headshots, and it showed them just in such a cool light. Here they are exhausted. One athlete was darn near about to throw up after the workout, and the portraits of our athletes are just amazing. We're planning to get them printed and hang some of them up in the gym just to feature how awesome our clients are. So it's always those little details of how do we make the experience unique and memorable. Yeah, so the weather today is 70 degrees and it's nice out. I always get a hard time from Tim and Chris. Those guys live in far too warm of areas. It should be pretty nice. Factory Forge headquarters is about a half mile away from Fast Factory's headquarters, so we'll be traveling back and forth. Like I said, on Saturday we spend a lot of the time at the gym. We're going to be watching the boot camp enrollment day, and then we're going to be watching a live intro happen, and then we'll be going back to Factory Forge headquarters, and we'll be helping you guys build out your intro and build out your boot camp. So we will spend some time at the gym. Downtown's only a mile and a half away, so everything's really centrally located. And then we have dinner planned for both Friday and Saturday with everybody, so you guys get a chance to ask Chris some questions, Tim some questions, and get really specific about your business. So if that's it, I'm good on my end. Tim, Chris, you guys cool? All right. Once again, from Factory Forge, thank you guys so much. Today was awesome. You guys have been an absolute blast to work with. I can't stress enough. If you guys do have questions, feel free to come ready to the chats. Otherwise, in the Friday Night Lights affiliate forum, feel free to ask questions in there. Chris, Tim, and I will get to them as soon as we can. But feel free to talk about your business. We want to hear what's going on in your affiliate, things that you're struggling with, things that you're finding success with. As our affiliates all grow, it's the old analogy, as the tide rises, all ships float a little bit higher. And that's our goal, is we want to help all the affiliates do better. So if you guys got something that's working, share it. You never know, it might save an affiliate's business, and we're all in this together. So as CrossFit grows, we're going to grow together. So that's all I got. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.